Welcome to Tech Topics. My name is Stephanie, and I'm an assistive technology and activities specialist with Future Insight. I hope you'll like our channel, subscribe, and check back frequently for more content. Today is all about using Microsoft Excel. We're just going to get started with it, the basics of navigating an Excel spreadsheet. And this is good for low vision or those with no vision. If you're using a mouse still most of the time, but you experience eye strain or eye fatigue, you might like these Microsoft key commands to help you work more efficiently. They can be quicker sometimes. Likewise, if you are using a screen reader such as JAWS NVDA or Windows Narrator, you may enjoy this as well. So these are all Microsoft key commands. They work for all, okay? And we're using, this is for Windows 10 or 11. And I am using my JAWS screen reader so people can hear what I'm doing as well as see what I'm doing. So you go into your Excel application by hitting the Windows key, and then you can start typing any application here in the search field. But I typed Excel, and then I pressed Enter, and I pressed Enter again to get to a blank workbook. However, for today's purposes, we're going to talk about navigating already existing worksheets to get those basics down of how to move around. So I'm in a little sample budget for my dog. So some of these key commands might seem a little familiar. The basics like Control Home takes me to the very top left corner in the worksheet. So the A1, and I'll explain that in a second. So I'll do a Control plus Home.
Budget for my dog, A1.
And as you notice, Control Home is also what you can do to go to the very top of a document in Word, the very top of an email, the top of a website. So some of these are considered sort of universal Microsoft key commands. But now we're in A1. I have to explain columns and rows. So columns go across the page from left to right. So I'll just arrow a couple times.
Blank, B1.
So we went from A1 to B1. I'm arrowing right to move single cell forward.
Blank, C1. Blank, D1.
Right, and if I wanted to go backwards by single cell, I could just arrow left.
Blank, C1. Blank, B1. Budget for my dog.
All right, so the title is in the top left corner in A1, budget for my dog. If I arrow down one,
First quarter,
it
A2.
says first quarter A2. Now we're going down the rows. We're in a column, but we're going down the rows. And if I arrow down, we hit A2. I'm going to arrow down to move to the next row.
Bills, A3. Grooming, A4.
Okay. Now, we're not going to worry about if text is formatted to fit into the cells and things like that yet. We're getting into basic navigation, not formatting yet. So if you see any inconsistencies, it's that we haven't worked with it yet, and I want to use this for future tutorials. All right, so we'll start at the top again, Control Home.
Budget for my dog.
All right, now we have what's called regions. Okay, your information is typically gathered into little tables, and they have regions. So if you want to go to the first row in a region moving down, you could hit Control arrow down.
Bills, A3.
And I'm on the first row of this region. If I want to move to the last row of this region, I could do a Control arrow down again.
Dog food, A7.
Okay, so I know between A3 and A7 I have information in the different rows. If I want to go to the next beginning of the next region, the next row, which would be the next beginning of the next region, I'm going to Control arrow down again.
Benefits, A9.
Okay, there's the beginning. If I want to go to the end of this region, I do a Control arrow down.
Better health, A12.
All right, now I'll go back up. I'm just going to Control Home to get to the top quickly.
Budget for my dog.
And I'm going to do a Control arrow down.
Bills,
And I'm at the beginning of this row for this region. Now, if I want to go to the end of this region to the right, I'm going to do a Control right arrow, and I'll go to the end of this region.
total, F3. Column header.
Okay. And if I want to see if there's any more regions, beginning of the next region, I can do another Control right arrow.
Blank, XFD3.
And it took me to the very end. There's no more tables in this particular worksheet. So I'm going to do a control left arrow.
Total. F3. Column header. No filter applied.
That's the end of this particular region. I want to go to the beginning of the region. Again, I can do a control left arrow.
Bills. A3.
All right, so in other words, your control and your right and left and up and down arrows will be helpful to go to beginning and end of different regions. All right, so now we're just going to arrow to the right, and here what we have here. We have in this first one, bills. Okay, and we're going to arrow to the right.
January.
Okay.
B3.
All right, now we know we have
header.
January.
No filter applied.
January.
February. C3. Column header. No filter applied. March. D3. Column header. No filter applied. April.
All right.
E3. Column header. No filter applied. Total. F3. Column header. No filter applied. Blank.
And that's blank.
G3.
So we know we have bills from January, February, March, and April, and then a total. So those are the column headers, and it even said column header. All right. I'm going to go back over to bills. I want to skip to the beginning of this region, so I can just do control left arrow.
Total. Bills.
There we
A3.
go. All right, now let's arrow down and see what our rows are.
Grooming. A4.
We have grooming. If I arrow down to the next row under bills.
Vet visits. A5.
Vet visits.
Dog walker. A6. Dog food. A7.
Okay.
Blank.
And that's the end of
A8.
that. All right, I'm going to go back up to the top of this region.
Bills.
Control
A3.
up arrow. I did control up arrow. I'm going to arrow down again.
Grooming.
All right.
A4.
So I'm under bills. I'm on grooming. I'm going to arrow to the right.
109. B4.
And so something was $109.
109. C4.
Again, I'm in a different column. It's 109.
109. D4. 109. 436. F4.
Okay.
Contains 4.
So I didn't quite know. I'm going to go to the beginning of the region.
Grooming.
Control left arrow. Grooming. So if I arrow to the right,
109. B4.
I have to remember that's January. Okay, that's kind of pretty easy to do. We know we have January through January, March, April. So if I arrow to the right, I know on February, and for grooming,
109.
I spent 109.
100. 100.
And if I arrow to the right again, every March,
109.
109. Arrow to the right.
109. E4.
Everything was 109. So if I arrow to the right, I'm moving ahead. Remember, single cell.
436.
And
F4.
we know that's the total because we familiarized ourselves with the headings. All right, but as you get deeper down, it might be harder to remember if the sheet is busier and busier. So sometimes you'll come across some nicely prepared worksheets that have the columns and rows being spoken no matter where you are in the worksheet. So we're first going to learn how to go. If you have multiple worksheets, okay, if you have more than one worksheet in your workbook, then you can move between them with control page up and control page down. So I'm on worksheet 1. I'm going to do control page up.
Sheet 2. End of sheet F8. 32.
All right. And I'm going to go to the top, control home, to go to the A1 corner box.
Budget for my dog.
Still says budget for my dog, but I'm going to arrow down one.
Second quarter. A2.
Okay, it says second quarter. So we knew the other one was first quarter, January, February, March, April. So we're assuming this one's going to be May, June, July, August. So I'm going to arrow down.
Blank. Bills. A4.
Okay, there's my bills. All right, now I'm going to arrow down again.
Grooming.
Grooming. But I'm going to arrow down once more.
Vet visits.
Okay.
A6.
So I already know second quarter, this one's going to be May, June, July, August. But I'm a few bills down into
Vet visits.
vet visits.
A6.
So if I arrow to the right,
May. 75. B6.
this one is accessibly labeled so that I hear the column headers and row headers as I move around.
June. 0. C6.
June, I spent 0.
July. 90. D6.
And if I go up, arrow up,
Grooming. 99.
Grooming.
D5.
Now I'm in grooming, it's saying.
July. 99.
July
D5.
grooming. Okay. So a nice accessibly labeled worksheet will have the announcements of both, columns and rows as you move around. But we're using our Microsoft key commands, and I'm just showing you how you can navigate cell by cell or region by region. You can also go to a particular cell.
Budget for
All
my
right.
dog.
I went
A1.
Control Home. Let's say I want to go to.
Second quarter.
Let's go
A2.
to.
Blank. Bills. A4.
All right. We know bills is
Budget for my
A4.
dog.
I'm going back up to the top to A1 with Control Home. You can do a Control G. Control G to go to. Think of it that way.
Control G. Go to dialog. Reference colon. Edit
Okay.
combo. To set the value, use the
And I'm going to type A4, I think it was, right?
A4.
And press Enter.
Enter. Bills. A4.
Okay, and it said bills. All right.
Grooming. A5.
So you can quickly get to something if you commonly work with a spreadsheet and you always know, I always have to get to the total, and that is where now. Let's figure out where the grand total is. Let's do a Control Home.
Budget for my dog.
We're going to go down by region,
Second quarter. A2.
and down by region again.
Bills. Dog food.
Dog
A-
food was the last one. Let's go over to the right.
Total. 180. F8.
So you might
Contains
know
formula.
this dog food is always on F8, I believe it said, right? So I can go to the top again,
Budget for my dog.
Control Home. Let's do Control G.
Control G. Go to dialog.
We'll do an
Reference
F8.
colon.
We're going to type F8.
F8.
Hit Enter.
Enter. Total. 180. F8.
Okay. You can also search with using Control F. So let's go Control Home.
Budget for my dog.
We're at A1 at the top left corner. Let's do a Control F.
Control F. Find and replace. Find
All right, and we want to find dog food. So I'm going to type dog food.
D-O-G space F-O-O-D.
I'm going to hit Enter.
Enter. Tab. Find next button. Dog food. A8.
Dog food,
To
and there it
activate,
is.
press space bar.
All right.
Alt plus F. Space.
And we have to hit Escape here to get out of this search area. If you want, like if I arrow around here, it's not moving for me. So I have to, once you've found that search, you've got to hit Escape.
Escape.
And then
May.
you can move
Warning.
around
Bills.
under dog food, okay?
Blank. A10.
So, in a nutshell, today for learning how to do some basic navigation with Excel, we learned how to move around single cell by single cell. We learned how to move around by rows. We understand what workbooks and worksheets are. We understand what columns and rows are. We learned how to go to a particular cell or to find a certain figure or words in a cell with the Control F. So thank you for tuning in to this tech topic, and I hope you come back for more.